Well, my friends, this video is going to be about moving machinery. I might be able to sneak in a little metal pouring here soon. My little scissor jack, I've gotten my money's worth out of that thing. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not using a hydraulic jack, I'm in a very tight spot. Most of my bottle jacks don't go down enough to get up under there, so this was an all-around better tool to use. Now, this particular job, just moving this lathe alone took the entire day. And from here, I tie the winch off to the front of the lathe and then to the back post on the building. Well, this particular steel tubing was not long enough to quite make it around the back side of the post, so I ended up extending it with 2x4s, and they didn't last long, as you can see there. So from there, I tried sticking pipe down in the inside of it. And of course, a bigger pipe would have helped. So I tried that, and I got it to go about a foot, and then I started realizing I was bending that. And from there, I resorted getting a crowbar. And once I did that, the strap broke. I ended up having to shorten the distance of the strap where I could actually quadruple the amount of wraps to it. Once I did that, I was finally able to pull that thing on the slab. From there, I get the rollers on it, and it went fairly easy. Like I said, it's kind of hard to anticipate exactly where to put a roller and which direction to put it in when you're trying to make a tight turn. It should seem fairly simple, but it's not. And by the way, Josie is not twerking here. She's doing her best out here in the shop. I got this thing so sped up. She's trying her best to keep all the debris out of my way where the rollers will roll easily. And by the way, I'm going to chime in right here and tell you guys, I'm not making her do anything. She wanted to be out here helping. So I don't want to get attacked by a bunch of you guys saying, you shouldn't have her out there doing that. I'll tell you more about that later, but yeah, she messed her ankle up pretty good. Yeah, now that we can go on a straight shot, it's pretty easy. And I realize it's a lot easier to get behind it and push. And I got, the other key thing to turning anything is to find your center of gravity, get it to where it's almost tilting, and it makes it a whole lot easier to turn. I wasn't thinking too clearly at this point. I was just trying to keep everything moving. We're going to show you moving most of the equipment except for the induction furnace. That'll be in next week's video, along with a whole bunch of other people out there. I want to make sure I give them all credit. Shortly, I'll be showing moving the muller, and you're going to see someone else helping that isn't Josie, and that would be my friend Jennifer Bird. I was very thankful to have her and Alicia Martin come and help us get some of the final things in place prior to having our event this year. So I run out of video before I completely got this thing down on the floor, but you're going to see where I'm going to be removing the nails from the skid and working it down one end at a time, and then picking it right back up and moving it sideways. So you'll get the idea of how I did it anyway. This skid was on this lathe the day I bought it. I never took it off the skid, so this will be the first time it's actually been on the concrete. In other words, it'll be about 4 inches shorter than what I'm used to. This one I found out the nails were just too big to pull. There's no telling how long this thing's been on there. But I just repeated the process until I got it all the way down. It's the first time I have had this actually on the concrete and off of that skid. That skid came with the lathe when I bought it. For all I know, that was the original shipping container from 1918. It's very nice to have this thing down at ground level where I can start working on cleaning this thing up in the meantime. Well, I won't be doing it right now. Well, I woke up this morning to a whole bunch of rain coming down. Rain's been coming in sideways. And my biggest fear was this slab got underwater. Well, guess what? It's dry as a bone, except right here. And I think that blew in through the doorway. So I'm relieved to know we don't have a lot of water standing on this slab this morning. In the past, prior to this slab being poured, water would accumulate on the back side of that wall, and it would run through the bottom and come all the way across and go out the other side. I'd have a regular stream going. and I was worried that the water, now that we've put the slab here, the water level would back on up. But luckily, it's going through our drain pipe and going the other way. That's good to know. I think I told you guys, I've got tunnel vision. I can only focus on this part or this part. I keep going back to this dang induction furnace, which is going to go right here. All right, so the induction furnace, we're going to have to be able to get into it, maintain the back of the thing. So the whole time past few weeks, I've been thinking, well, we need to make the room deep enough to where we can pull that cabinet forward when we have to get to the back of it and access the panels. And, if it's anything like everything else around here, this will be a once-a-week deal if we're using the thing on a routine basis. Hopefully it won't be. Then this morning, I was thinking, all right, so I got all those induction coils. You got all these lines. You got the water circulating from the cabinet to the coil outside through a wall. All that crap's going to have to be done anytime I have to pull that cabinet forward just to get to the back side of it. Now keep in mind, this cabinet is as heavy as this dang lathe, if not more. So I've changed my mind, and I have decided, instead of planning to pull the cabinet forward, just go ahead and make an access hole in the wall. Make it fully insulated, right? That will keep us from having to move the cabinet. Anytime leaky flux capacitor, big generator, and a bunch of capacitors and cool-looking gadgets. Anytime any of that has to be worked on, I can easily go around outside, open the door, and then take the panels off the furnace. And knowing me, I'll just leave the panels off. And then I got thinking, well, if I'm going to do that, I ought to just go ahead and just get 2 regular insulated doors and put a door frame here on the back side of the cabinet. And then I was thinking, well, if I'm going to do all that, instead of us breaking our neck trying to bring that cabinet out, down, and around, it's just right here on the back side of this wall. We'll just take this wall down right now and just slide it straight in. Of course, we got to spin it around. Why didn't I think of that 6 months ago? I don't know. That's just the way I'm designed. Anyway, what do you guys think of that? I like that idea. Now, let's just leave the cabinet permanently where it's at and be able to get around it at any time easily. Yeah, that's a better idea. So we still have to get this lathe up on the slab and the molding machine, which is hid back there in the back. You can see the back of it slanted. We got to fish that out, bring it up on the slab. The drill press, I'm leaving it there. That thing we've got several issues going on with that right now that I would like to keep it. It's cool because it's like the old radio alarm drills. You pull the handles out and it has automatic feed, and it handles the big Morse taper drill bits. It's an industrial, dude. It's made by Kalamazoo, I think. Here's Dollar. Hey, Dollar. Hey, girl. How you doing, girl? Ooh, you're wet. You stink. You stink. You're nasty. But Yep. Well, Dollar, we got a lot of work to do. Well, I got this thing blocked up. I need to go one more, and then we're gonna block up the belly of it and get that stiffened on these 2x4 rails, and hopefully that'll be enough that the weight won't flex. I'm gonna try to distribute a brace from the belly of this straight down on that middle slat, cross slat, and hopefully we will be moving this soon. Bad news is the winch is down. The screw that holds into the cable come out, and I can't get that sucker back started, so we're just going to try this without the winch this time. This is a smaller lathe, even though it's still very heavy. We'll see. We'll see how this works. Well, I had to do a little winch repair. That screw that holds into the cable, it came off with us several months ago when my father-in-law and uncle were down helping, and we kind of rigged it back, but ended up spending about 2 hours last night retapping the inside of that bell just to get the cable to hold. But it's working now, and what I've done here, I'm going to go ahead and bring this lathe up in the corner, not too close because we still need to be able to work around here and put the walls up, but to help keep it running straight, I scotched it out with this 2x4 to try to push it more to the right as we bring it over in this direction. I don't want to be cluttering the floor with a whole bunch of stuff until we get all this done. Well, I don't want to clutter it, period. Got to cut the camera on, but we did finally get this thing winched up on the slab. It almost flipped it over. It was leaning quite a bit to the left, but miraculously we got her up here. Next, after we put this in position, I'm going to fish out the molding machine, try to get it up on here. It's going to go right here in this corner, and then from there I'm going to try to get this air compressor over in that corner, but we're going to just use the old swing jib crane here since I've got it. I'm going to take this P&H crane off of it because that's what we're going to be using to lift the muller. The muller is going to be one of the last things other than the molding machine that we have to bring in here on the slab. Now, someone had left the comment, well, what, if you're putting this on the outside, why did you bring it back inside? Well, it's going to let me rephrase what I said. It is going to be on the outside of the addition here. It's going to be on the outside of the molding room, out here, right here in this corner. I still don't have a pad made for it yet. Temporarily, we're going to go ahead and get this thing set up, get it hooked back up, and I'm not going to worry about trying to plumb the thing. I was talking to Keith about that last night. That's going to be one of the last things we do is plumb air in the building. I want to do it right this time. I do not want water in my air lines, so we're just going to have a whole bunch of hoses connected directly to the tank. So, and for the time being, just to avoid that catastrophe again. We've got to get the tank back up and running because we've got to run the needle scaler on some castings that I still haven't cleaned up. And we got a lot more that's going to be made this weekend. We're going to need that readily available. I'm not going to fool with putting it on rollers this time. I'm dragging a wood sled on a cement floor, so shouldn't be a problem. My dad gave me this Warren winch. It came off his old Polaris. I gotta admit, it's been a handy little rig. I just went ahead and welded it to a piece of angle iron, and then I had a tractor pin with an eyelet that was perfect for running straps around it. So I just tie it off and to post in here in the building. I don't know if you can see that. I got it wrapped about 3 wraps, and then I come back and just do a simple tie here so it's not hard to undo. This thing, we have used it quite a bit, and we're not done with it yet. All right. Oh, it works splendid on cement. All I gotta do is wiggle this baby around now. Before I do an introduction, I want to point out Dave Clark's shirt, the hoodie. It feels great, buddy. I'm staying plenty warm in it. All right, so I have with me here today the guy that actually owns the Atlas Shaper now, Dr. Shelburne Wilson from Tennessee, and we got talking, and he was actually born here in Meridian. But we had a pretty interesting conversation on that. But I wanted to introduce you to the guy that's taken the Shaper home, and I hope he'll enjoy it as much as I have.
I'm sure I'm going to enjoy that Shaper a tremendous amount. I've won one for years.
Well, I've enjoyed it. It's to me, that's like watching a waterfall.
Yeah, it's mesmerizing.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to introduce you. We're fixing to try to attempt to get this loaded after moving all this machinery around. This should be easy peasy.
It looks like original. I don't see anything other than the primer under it. The primer is not Atlas gray. But you see a little bit of rust, the primer, and the Atlas gray there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's original.
That's unheard of. But obviously it doesn't care, but I like them to be in the original colors.
Try to keep it steered downhill a little bit there. Okay. Let's pull it along now.
Ready? Is that all right?
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we can pull it from that post and be okay. As long as you don't hear the post cracking, we're good. Yeah. Come on. Couple more feet. That's it.
Yay.
I think.
All right, we're at the boards.
Alright.
Ready?
Let's climb that board and see. Alright, hold what you got.
Ready?
Yep. Whoop. You know what?
That's gonna topple, isn't it?
That's what I'm afraid of. So let me scotch the back of it up some. I just don't want that thing to flip backwards with us.
Yeah. Over here on this edge, it'll probably walk up.
You know what? Let's try it again.
Okay.
Because the farthest it can come back is on these handlebars.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah, go about 2 inches. Alright.
Ready?
Alright. Let's see what almost there.
Yeah. Okay, like.
I don't guess I need to let go of that, do I? How we looking?
Looks good. I haven't had a crack.
All right, so let's go ahead and try to get the wheels on the slab.
There, we keep going.
You're on there. All right, let's.
Oh.
Hold on just a second. Go ahead and pull it up a little.
Okay.
All right.
Here we are. Woohoo!
That. We can move mountains now. We got it.
There you go.
At the beginning of this video, I said I was going to sneak you in a little metal pouring, and here it is, guys. This first mold we're fixing to pour is for Stephen McKinley, and it's a bearing cap, and I forgot what year model this car was. It's a very old one, probably I think from the 20s. And in the second mold, it's no secret now, Keith already did a video last week of his tour out here where we are pouring the 18-inch straight edge, which is basically the same thing he showed, just from a different angle. I will say that our furnace is behaving great. We are now hitting our record time, 15 to 20 minutes per melt, after the furnace gets up to heat. I'm very happy with that. We still need to do a little tweaking here and there, but we are comfortably pouring good gray iron again. That's one less thing I have to worry about. There are so many variables in this career I chose. You just have to pick your battles, and we fought this one and won. I want to reiterate my appreciation to Jennifer and Alicia for their help out here last week. If you guys hadn't showed up, we would have been in a world of hurt. Between getting the last of the machinery up off the floor on the slab and getting the house cleaned up because Josie was incapacitated, I just want you two to know how much I appreciate you. Guys, next week I am going to show you stuff that happened during the event and let you know how much I appreciate those guys. I just want to make sure I don't leave anyone out. But in the meantime, I hope y'all have a good day and be safe, and we will talk to you later. For those who have been asking about the Windy Hill Foundry hats, these are now available on my website, windyhillfoundry.com, under stores, or you can click on the above link. These are on the pricey side, but keep in mind the shipping is included. Have a good day.